Andy, Mel, Arthur, here's the first question. What is the name of this program? My golly, Art, I think you were first. What's your answer?
Agriculture USA.
He's right. Yes, he's right. Yes, it's Agriculture USA, presented in cooperation with the 4-H clubs, the Future Farmers of America, and, well, that's the fellow who's glad you tuned in. Hi. A total of 6 outstanding colleges and universities have sent us representatives today. You'll see top agricultural students compete in the Agri-Quiz. The score will be kept by a homecoming queen. Our halftime panel is ready to fire questions of their own at a top authority in the farm machinery industry. But right now it's game time, and this is how we play the Agri-Quiz. 3 contestants line up, as you saw a minute ago right here. We fire a question at them, today on the subject of farm equipment. They hit the buzzers. Whoever gets here first has an opportunity to answer. If they answer correctly, we go over to the scoreboard where, among other things, we find beautiful Roberta Salzberg. Roberta, you are representing the University of Southern California, is that right?
That's right.
And you're their homecoming queen.
Yes, I am.
Well, what does it entail, being a homecoming queen? What do you do?
The homecoming queen has to attend the homecoming game, which this year was USC versus Stanford, and she attends the basketball tournaments, presents trophies. She gets to come to lovely shows like this.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
What are you majoring in at USC?
I'm pre-law majoring in finance.
Gee, if I ever need a lawyer, I'm going to come to you, Roberta. But right now, I want to come to you with the scorekeeping. Today, you're Miss Scorekeeper on the show. For example, if Mel were to get one right here in the middle, what would you do? This one. And we see the letter A. The next letter is G, and eventually it spells out the word agriculture. Whoever gets to that final E first, or as close to it as possible before we run out of time, wins the game. We have some close plays in the Agri-Quiz, and sometimes we have close answers, too, so an umpire is needed. Our umpire is a graduate of Cornell University, and he's been an instructor of agriculture engineering at the State University of New York, and now at Cal Poly in Pomona, Mr. Dudley Smith. Dudley, welcome to Agriculture USA.
Thank you, John.
Tell me, have you got some real rough questions for our contestants today?
Pretty rough today.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out right now. Say, Dudley, would you step over there and show us how you keep score here? First of all, if they get one right, what do you do? How do you? We see the letter right here. But if you don't like their answer and you won't accept it, we see what? We see wrong. And that's how we rule on the questions. Now, to play the game, we need contestants, and we've got 3 fine ones today. Fellas, would you line up right along here, please? Contestant number 1, representing Cal Poly State College in San Luis Obispo, is our friend Andrew McBride. Andrew, what are you studying at Cal Poly?
I'm studying mechanized agriculture.
That's your major, is it?
Yes.
And what is your future? What are you planning to do when you get out of school?
I'm going to go into the ranching business with my brothers in Northern California.
In Northern California, fine. Well, we're delighted to have you with us today. Representing the University of Nevada, we have Mel Collins. Mel, I understand you are, well, I can tell that you're in the 4-H clubs. You've got all those medals there on your chest. How many years have you been in 4-H?
4 years.
4 years. And out of all the projects you've had in those 4 years, what is your favorite?
Automotive.
Automotive. But you're interested in farm machinery as well, I hope.
Yes.
Good. You've come to the right place. And representing the University of Arizona, we have Arthur Allen. Arthur, where were you born?
Rochester, New York.
Oh, you're an Easterner that went out to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I say, and what is your major at the university?
Ag engineering.
Ag engineering. Does this mean that you're going to continue in that line when you graduate?
I hope to.
Good. Well, we're going to find out right now how much all 3 of you know in regard to farm machinery and equipment. You know how we play the game, don't you? All right, here we go on the first question. There was an important development in 1831 that triggered the mechanized revolution in agriculture. What was this development? What do you say, Mel?
The invention of the reaper.
The reaper? The grain reaper? Will you accept that? McCormick, he's right on that one. Very good. And the University of Nevada jumps into the lead there. Agriculture as an industry purchases more petroleum products than any other section of our economy. Would you say farmers purchase the equivalent of 5 billion, 10 billion, 15 billion, or 20 billion gallons of petroleum a year? What would you say on that? Take a guess. When in doubt, guess. That's the spirit. What do you say, Andy?
15.
15, and he's right on the nose. 15 billion gallons it is. Very good. Is it true that most modern machines can be oiled and cleaned while they're running? What do you say on that, Andy?
I would say no.
You'd say no on that. They can't, and he'd be right on that by saying no. Very good. Many pieces of equipment, such as corn shellers, are powered by belts from tractors. Is it necessary for each piece of equipment to be grounded? Yeah. What do you say on that one, Art?
No.
You'd say no, it isn't. What is the answer on that? And we're wrong on that. I can't ask anybody else because the only other answer is yes. Yes, they must be grounded, every one of them. All right, there is a popular belief that geese are sometimes used for weeding cotton fields. Is this true or false? What do you say on that, Mel?
I'd say no.
You'd say no, and you'd be 100% wrong on that. I'm sorry, they do use geese. They have flame cultivation, but they also have geese. The engine on most diesel tractors have no spark plugs or electrical ignition system. What ignites the fuel? What do you say on that, Andy?
Compression.
The heat of compression. Will you accept it? He's right on that one. Very good. Roberta, would you wheel in that first exhibit there, please? It makes me hungry just looking at it. Fellas, can you get a good look at this now? We want you to see these dishes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a box there. Can you see those all right? All right. Now, Andy, if you'll turn around, put your back against the counter here, we're going to see what kind of aim you've got. Turn right around there. Take the dart and fire away at any one of those pictures you can see up there. And, well, you came right in the middle there. Let's try another one. See if you can get on one side or the other. Fine, attaboy. And you hit this one right here. Now, there are two things we want to ask you. First of all, we want to ask you to identify this particular machine.
That's a combine.
That's a combine. All right. Now, which one of these products here would do you associate this as far as harvesting is concerned?
Wheat.
The wheat. This one right here? And will you accept that? The wheat? And he's right on that. Very, very good. Very good. Now let's see what kind of aim Mel's got here. Mel, you turn around and good luck to you in Nevada. You've got quite a few to choose from there. Oh, I see. You were really aiming that time. Good for you. And we bring this picture up here. And we hold it right there so the folks at home can see it. Now, what machines are these?
It's a combine.
They're combine. And what one of these things do you associate with the combine?
The wheat.
The wheat. The wheat?
Barley, yeah.
And what else?
Barley.
And the barley? Where's the barley? Is this it? Would you say this is barley here?
No, just the wheat.
The wheat, the wheat. Well, he's right on that one, right? He's right. Very good, very good. Got two winners on that. And now, let's see how the University of Arizona does. Put your back right against the wall there, Art, and fire away. You got 6 things to shoot there. And you hit this one down here. All right, well, we'll do the same thing with you. We'll first show it to the folks at home. And there it is. And will you identify that for us? What is that, Art?
That's a corn harvester.
The corn harvester, and I don't think it's going to be very difficult to associate with one of these products.
With the ear of corn.
With the ear of corn, and he's right on that one. Very, very good. Very good. Did you give him a point there? Roberta, could we take this out now, please? And we'll get ready for the next one. All right, here's the question. If you wanted to penetrate a dry, hard soil, would you use a disc plow or a moldboard plow? What do you say, Art?
Disc plow.
A disc plow, and he's right on that one. Very good. Can the number of seeds planted per acre with a corn planter be varied by increasing or decreasing the speed of the tractor on which it is mounted? Didn't get through, but what do you say, Andy?
It can be, by decreasing the speed of the tractor, the seeds per acre would be increased.
Well, I'm looking for a yes or no answer. Let me read the question. You were first. Can the number of seeds planted per acre with a corn planter be varied by increasing or decreasing the speed of the tractor on which it is mounted?
Yes.
You would say yes, and I'm sorry, we can't accept that. The answer is no. Umpire Dudley Smith over there is shaking his head, and he's pushing the buttons. If fuel storage tanks cannot be buried underground, then they should be placed a certain distance from the buildings. Is this distance 25 feet, 75 feet, or 50 feet? What do you say on that, Mel?
I'd say 75 feet.
75, and he's right. He's 100% right at 75 feet. What do the initials ASAE stand for? What do you say on that, Andy?
American Society of Agricultural Engineers.
And he's right on that one. Very good. Very good. Look, that signal right there, that signal indicates the end of the first half of the Agri-Quiz. We pick up the pace when we start playing again, so now is the time for you contestants to marshal your wits for the second half. The rest of us will meet today's guest authority in 1 minute, right after this message offered for your consideration. Here it is. Our panel is made up of young people because the future of America is in the hands of its young people. In preparing for this responsibility, they seek information. They want answers to their questions. Of course, this is a healthy state of affairs. So let's meet today's panel, shall we? There they are. Panelist number 1, Bob Day. Bob is representing the University of the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA. Bob, you're on the track team there, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You were captain of the freshman track team?
Yes, sir.
And now you're a sophomore, you're running. What is your fastest mile, Bob?
4:05.
4:05? That's awful fast. And you're a sophomore?
Yes, sir.
Boy, we're going to hear lots from you. Next to Bob, we have Linda Ross. Linda is representing the San Bernardino Valley College. What are you studying there, Linda?
Pre-teaching.
You're going to be a teacher.
I hope.
Have you got a grade picked out?
Second.
Why second grade, Linda?
Well, I just like the second graders. They're at a nice age.
They are. They're small enough so you can control them, right? Linda, on your credits, you have listed, among other things, Miss National Hot Rod Association. I think this needs a word of explanation.
Well, the year I was Miss Fontana, which was 1962, the Winter Nationals were held at our drag strip, and so therefore I was chosen as the queen.
I see. Well, congratulations. We're delighted to hear it. And next to Linda, we have Dick Weeks, also on the track team at UCLA. What is your specialty, Dick?
Either 3 or 6 miles.
Either 3 or 6. And what's your best time, let us say, on 3?
14:37.
14. That sounds awful fast. What's the world's record on that, anyway?
It's more than a minute faster.
Well, you'll get there yet. We're rooting for you. And last but far from least, we have Leslie Landis representing the San Bernardino Valley College, too. Where were you born, Leslie?
In West Virginia.
West Virginia. In the mountains there?
Yes.
Good for you. And you are the president of a sorority at college.
Yes, Phi Kappa Nu.
Phi Kappa Nu. Good. Is Linda a member of your sorority?
Yes,
Oh,
she's
your
secretary.
sister. Well, good. Oh, secretary. Good. Well, we're delighted to have both of you with us. Our guest authority has been in the farm equipment industry all of his adult life. In fact, right after he graduated from the University of Kansas Law School, he joined International Harvester. And except for service in the Air Force during World War II, he has held various key positions with them ever since. He is not only regarded as an authority, but he is highly popular in the industry. Vice President of International Harvester, Mr. Omar G. Voss. Omar, welcome to Agriculture USA.
Thank you very much,
Won't you
John.
sit down and just make yourself comfortable there. Omar, before the panel starts firing their pertinent questions, I have just one I want to ask you. How important and how large is the farm equipment industry in this country? Is it an important part of our American way of life?
Yes, sir. We think the farm equipment industry is a very important part of our way of life.
I'm sure you do, but I mean, actually, is it a large business?
Yes, it's a very large industry.
And probably in all 50 states?
In all 50 states, yes, sir.
All right, fine. Now, Bob, what's your first question?
Mr. Voss, what is the most significant advancement of farm equipment in the past few years?
Bob, there have been many. I would say that the development of the mechanical cotton picker has probably been the most significant, of greatest significance, and in particular, I would say the development and refinement of the two-row self-propelled cotton picker.
Now, is this a two-row one we have over here?
No, that only shows one drum.
Well, why don't we go over there and you can explain it to me as well as to the viewers and to Bob. This is a mechanical cotton picker, is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, now, how does it operate? Where does the cotton, for instance...
If you would bring the spindles around just a bit this way,
All
yes.
right.
The cotton stalk would be standing stationary, and this machine would be moving toward the cotton.
Right.
The spindles would enter the open bowls, and with their barbs, they would extract the cotton fiber from the open bowl.
Right.
At the same time, they would not harm the unopened bowls, so you could go over again and pick them at a later time.
Right.
Then the spindle enters the doffer.
This is a doffer here?
The doffer,
And
the
what's
rubber doffer, takes the cotton fiber from the spindle.
Oh, it pulls it off the spindle there,
That's
right?
correct.
Yeah.
And then the airstream sucks it up into a basket.
All right.
Then the spindle comes around in behind to a little moisture applicator. It puts water on the spindle, and then the spindle's ready to come back through and get another load of cotton fiber.
All right, and the moisture is what helps pull it off the bowl.
Yes, that's correct.
Very, very good. Does that answer your question, Bob?
Yes, it does.
All
Thank
right. Linda, what is your first question?
Well, Mr. Voss, I'd like to know, doesn't farm equipment cost the farmer a lot more today than it did 10 years ago?
Well, Linda, I can't deny that the cost of labor and materials has gone up very substantially in that period. And it's true that the price of farm machines has gone up. However, you must, in this regard, I think, relate the cost increase to the increased amount of work that our farm machinery performs today. And when you take that into consideration, if in the case of a tractor, for example, you relate it to the horsepower of the tractor, I think you would be surprised to hear that in the last 12 years, the price per horsepower of a farm tractor has actually decreased. Machines cost a little more, but they do much more work than they did 12 or 15 years ago.
Does that answer your question, Linda? Fine. All right, Dick?
In recruiting engineering talent, does the farm and equipment manufacturers have trouble competing with the more glamorous industries?
Well, Dick, I don't like your inference when you say the more glamorous industries. We think that we have all the glamour that anyone could possibly have in an industry. We think, in a most exotic industry, and with the possible exception of aerospace and aviation, I don't think you could find a lot more glamour than what we're able to put into our farm tractors and farm machinery. We use the very latest in hydraulics, the very latest in engines. We have hydrostatic power steering, for example. We have power brakes, virtually as standard on our tractors. We have power shifts. We have hydraulic implement lifts and so forth. We think we're a very glamorous industry. No, I don't think we have too much trouble competing with them. I think our big problem, however, is to convince the boys that ours really is a glamour industry.
Well, you've convinced us, I'll say that. Leslie?
Well, Mr. Voss, you represent a very large company, and don't you think that you and other big producers will put the small business manufacturers out of business?
No, I don't think there's much danger of that, Leslie. I believe at last count there are around 950 manufacturers of farm equipment in this country, and many of them have been in business for many years. There's a great place for the small equipment manufacturer who caters pretty much to the needs of local and sectional interests. And he's been able to get along pretty well, and ours is a very competitive industry. I think he's fared very well, and I don't think there's any danger we'll ever put him out of business.
Bob?
Today's machines seem to have a highly specialized use for different chores. Couldn't there be one machine to do an all-purpose job, such as plowing, planting, cultivating, and harvesting?
Well, Bob, in this day and age, I don't really think that anything is completely impossible. But I wouldn't wait for it, really, if I were you. I doubt that we will ever be successful in inventing one machine that will perform all those tasks. I would say, however, that our own company's current row crop tractors has a fast hitch attachment on it, which will enable it to pick up all kinds of attachments to perform all of the duties that you've just enumerated. In fact, with our row crop tractor, you can plow, you can disc, you can seed with it, and we also have a cotton picker attachment for a tractor and a corn picking attachment. So our tractors are very versatile these days.
Linda?
Well, if today's farmers are so much more productive due to the development of modern machines, why don't the prices of retail foods go down?
Well, that's a rather difficult question to answer in just a few seconds. I would say to you, Linda, that I think that the best value on the market today in America is food. You know, you can buy, I believe, about 60% more food with 1 hour of labor today than you could 15 years ago. Food is a real value. And I would certainly not agree with you that food is too costly. Now, it's true that the prices of farm commodities have declined a bit in recent years. I'm not an expert on food marketing, but I would suggest that a good portion of the cost increase has been in that field.
Say, Homer, I would like to ask a question. Getting back to the equipment, what was the first invention in the United States to really set off this whole business of farm mechanization? I think it has something to do with this exhibit over here, and I'm dying to get to it.
Yes, John, I would say it's the invention of the reaper by Mr. Cyrus McCormick in 1831.
And this is a model of that, the reaper that he invented.
Yes, sir, that is a replica of the reaper that he invented in 1831.
Is there anything about this that is so basic that it is even being used today?
Yes, there are three fundamental principles that he incorporated in this machine that our engineers, even on the most modern of combines today, have not been able to improve upon.
Well, which three are
Number one, we have the same design of cutting platform on today's modern combine. We have the same reel. I think you saw them pictures you used on the panel.
All right.
And the third one is the crop divider here at the edge of the platform.
The thing that divides the crop
Yes,
to
sir.
where it starts cutting and where it leaves it.
Yes, sir. We haven't been able to improve on those three particular principles.
Well, that is extremely interesting. Let's see. I think it's Dick's time. Dick, have you got a question for us?
Yes, sir. Has the farm equipment industry advanced as rapidly, technologically speaking, as the other industries have?
Yes, I think they have. We are specialists in many fields. In our engineering departments, we have the very latest in engineering equipment. In our manufacturing departments, we're well tooled. In fact, in our latest row crop tractors we've just introduced, our diesel engines are made on machine tools which are tape controlled, and you don't find anything more modern than that in any industry.
Leslie?
We hear a great deal about the disappearance of a family or small farm from the American scene. Is this trend as significant as we are led to believe?
Well, Leslie, there's quite a difference between the family farm and the small farm. I would agree with you that the small farms are disappearing because farms are certainly getting larger. I think the United States Department of Agriculture defines a family farm as a farm with less than 2 hired hands. I think you might be interested to know that that is the fastest growing segment of our farm population today. So the farm population is definitely, in my opinion, not going away from the family farm, even though they are getting larger.
That signal that indicates it's time to start the second half of the Agri-Quiz, but I have one last question I would like to ask you, Oma. What is the biggest challenge for the farm equipment industry in the future?
Well, the greatest challenge, of course, is to keep up with the needs of our customer, to give him better labor-saving equipment which will enable him to produce more with less labor cost and with greater convenience to himself.
Well, that sounds like an excellent purpose to me, Oma.
Yes, sir.
Our panel was loaded with questions, and thanks to you, they're now loaded with answers, and that's the whole purpose of this program. We're very much indebted to you, Oma. And panel, not only were we impressed by your enthusiasm and your curiosity, but the vitality, the important part of the American way of life is what you have presented on this program. Your enthusiasm and your curiosity is a joy to behold. Thanks for being with us. The first play of the second half in 1 minute, right after this announcement. Here it is. All right, here we go in the second half. First, let's take a look at the scoreboard and see how we're doing. Andy, representing Cal Poly, has 5 there. Mel, representing Nevada, has 3. And Arthur from the University of Arizona has 3. We've got a tight race going here. Fellas, can you see these things right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 of them there. What we want to know is these 6 instruments. We want to know which one you would use for loading the hay into the barn. What do you say on that, Arthur?
The elevator.
The elevator. This is the elevator? All right. Is he right on that? He's right on that. Very good. Say, while we've got these here, could you tell us what this is, Arthur?
3-bottom plow.
It's a three what?
3-bottom plow.
3-bottom plow with a tractor. And how about this, Mel? What would you say that is?
It's, a trailer to pull
A trailer to
tractor
pull
on.
what?
To pull tractors on.
Pull tractors on, all right? And what about this one, Andy? What would you say that is?
That's a manure spreader.
This is the thing that the manufacturer won't stand behind, they say. And how about this, Art?
A tandem disc.
A tandem disc. And what would you say about that, Mel?
Well, I guess you'd call it a feed wagon.
A feed wagon. By golly, I'm very impressed with how much all 3 of you know. Very, very good. Did you give them a score there, Roberta? All right, fine. What is being done in the development of farm machines to improve the comfort of the operator? What do you say on that, Andy?
Well, they've added foam seats.
Well, that'll do it. And what else?
They
Can you
have.
think of anything else?
Well, the seats are more adjustable. You can adjust them to height.
seats. Yep, fine. Can you think of anything else? You've already won the point. I just want to see what else you know.
They can adjust them to the height and then to the leg length of the operator.
What I'm looking for is radio control devices and power steering and air-conditioned cabs and helmets, shock absorbers, the whole works. He got a point on that one, though. He was right. Very good. Very good. There are a number of ways the tractor can deliver its power to do work for the farmer. Can you name 2? What do you say on that, Art?
Through the drawbar, through the pulley.
The drawbar and the pulley. Will you accept these right on those? Very. Can you think of any others? Can you think of any, Mel?
Well, no, I guess not.
All right. Can you think of any others?
I didn't quite get the question.
Oh, all right. Well, here we go. There are a number of ways the tractor can deliver its power to do work for the farmer. Can you name two was the question. Just wondering if you could think of any others.
Well, with a shaft,
With a
power
shaft?
takeoff shaft.
Yes, that's right. Fine. In 1820, one farmer produced enough food and fiber for himself and 3 other people. Today, he produces enough for himself and a larger number. Would you say this number would be 10, 15, or 25 other people? What do you say on that, Art?
25.
25, and he's 100% right on that one. In terms of farm machinery, what is the difference between an equipment driver and an equipment operator? What do you say on that, Art? What is a driver of farm equipment?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I mean Andy.
Well, an operator would have to know more than just driving.
Right, well, that's right. That's the answer, and he's 100% right. And there's the clock. It indicates we've run out of time. We take a look over there, and we find, by golly, Andy, with that last question, you were the winner. And we want to congratulate you, and here's the Agriculture USA trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And our friends at International Harvester want each one of you to have a $25 savings bond to go to your future agricultural education. How about a nice hand for all 3 of them? What do you say? You did an excellent job. You know, as we said a minute ago, in 1820, one farmer produced enough food and fiber for himself and 3 other people. Today, he produces enough for himself and 25 others. This has been made possible in large part by the farm machinery industry and the farmer himself. To both, we owe a salute of appreciation. We'll see you next week. So long. Congratulations.